Hi guys, okay, so today we're going to be talking about Brisk Teaching. You probably have seen that on socials quite a lot at the moment, especially with the new feature I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about the podcast feature. But obviously you probably have heard about Brisk Teaching and you can add it to your Chrome browser. You just need to click there on the link there and you will have a little link just down there, a little, not link, a little icon on top there, and it will be living after on your desktop and will be appearing at different places. So let's go ahead and have a play. So as you probably know, Brisk Teaching works natively with in the Google ecosystem. So what we're going to be doing here, I went into a Google Doc. You can see at the bottom I have my Brisk little button. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to be talking about all the amazing things you can do with Brisk Teaching. You probably know, you've seen all the videos and stuff out. I'm sure you can find some stuff. I just want to be talking about the new feature, create, and I'm going to go into doing the podcast. So, as ever, it's all about the prompting, and you can get out of it whatever you're going to be putting it. So, if you make it really general, it's going to get you a very general podcast in the language that you want. That's obviously for language teachers. But if you're adding a lot of details, you want the name of characters, for example, we're going to be talking to each other. You're going to be asking exactly what you want. You want to revise some tenses, you want a certain type of vocab, put it in the prompt and it will be working a treat. Prompt history is a little button which is great here. If you prompt it, it just remains in memory. So what we're going to be doing here, I'm going to be clicking on this one. So what I've done here, I'll say create a podcast in French where a tour guide takes us around Toulouse. Include descriptions of sights, smells, sounds, and food. Use the French GC vocab from AQA board as well as the past tense. Mention famous landmarks and local tradition. Okay, and you can add, as you can say, as I mentioned before, you can add the name of the characters to people talking. So okay, so it's going to be descriptions. You're going to have some vocab. It's going to be using the past tense here. I could be more precise. Could have the imperfect and stuff like that. But I just, for sake of it, just past tense. I'm going to brisk it. So you can see I can change the language here. You can have the amount of time. At the moment, I am allowed to be using the longer features because I've passed all the little tests, and I've got um, the possibility to do that for a few days. So 4 or 5 minutes normally, so only 1-2 minutes. But if you pay the premium, maybe later on you have access to this. You can change the year group. I'll put that in year group also now in the settings, so you have it in English, and I am going to be brisking it. So it's going to be generating the podcast really quick. Move my head around there. So you can see that the two characters I mentioned, Claire and Luc, I wanted that, and they're talking about Toulouse. Which is great. It takes really literally a few seconds, and I've done that before, and it's pretty accurate with the landmarks and the places where they are and stuff like that. It's really, really good. We're going to listen to it also very, very quickly to see how good the speaking is. It's pretty impressive too.
Bonjour à tous et bienvenue à notre podcast Découverte de Toulouse. Je m'appelle Claire et aujourd'hui, je suis accompagnée par mon collègue Luc pour vous faire découvrir cette magnifique ville du sud-ouest de la France.
Bonjour Claire et bonjour à tous nos auditeurs.
Okay, so a nice, lovely French accent really sounds like really native speakers. You can see that here I've got the possibility to be changing the name of the podcast. I cannot edit the transcript. It's done and dusted. I cannot do anything about it. But you can see that it's really, really good. If you're not happy with the outcome, sadly, well, you're gonna have to prompt again and try to get something different and start again until you got something that you want. But to be honest, I've done it many, many times and it is pretty impressive. Okay, so you're going to say, but well, it's great. I've got a beautiful podcast. What do I do with it? Good question. What do you do with it? So you could be using it as a resource in class, trying to test the pupils on that. We can see that further if you want to be using the script as it is. But obviously you cannot download the script. You just can download the sound file. Okay, but we've got little ways to be sorting things out. First of all, if you want to stay within Brisk, you can go and boost it. So boost it, and I will go into the assess area and go on pause check. So check for understanding during the lesson. You can during the lesson if you wanted to, or you can use that as an exit ticket also there. So let's say I want to do that during the lesson. What I want to do, create a pause check activity about this web page. I don't want to ask, they're going to be asking questions about the content of my podcast. What I can do is I can leave it in French, but it could be quite a bit harsh depending on the level of the pupil. So I am going to be changing into English. In this case, if the pupil I teach are English, I'm going to click on Brisket and see what's going to happen. Okay, so it's very quick to be preparing that activity. And you're going to see in a moment that it's going to have a QR code, it's going to be a link there in front of me, and that will be able to share with my pupils. Okay, so there we go. It's just generated a bot also, which is pretty amazing. So I've got a QR code with a code, or I have a link that I can share with the class, and I can do class and stuff like so pupils can actually do the work and I can check what they do. I'm going to get off that. You can see learning objectives here on top. If I click on the pencil, I can edit them, but you can see if you're happy with it, record and describe at least 3 major landmarks, explain at least 2 aspects of Toulouse culture, use basic French vocab, so there will be more comprehension in this case. You can add other ones. Okay, we'll save it. And we are going to move on. And you can have a demo of what's happening here. And you're going to have a bot which has been actually built and is going to be asking me questions on the content of the podcast. Let's have a quiz question. What is the name of the main square in Toulouse that is described as the heart of the city? So obviously I know because I'm from there. So it's going to be La Place du Capitole. And see what he says. Okay. Can you tell me significant buildings located there and what it is used for? So again, I'm going to have to check, and it's going to be asking me questions all along. And after that, you can see that little by little it's moving, and once it's finished, I can check the understanding for the class once it's done. And again, now I can share it with my student. Again, I just have to share this, all the link, and people can actually have a go. So if I click on the link, I'm going to go into another window. So it's File. I'm going to go in incognito window is probably the best thing to do. And you can see that I don't have to create an account. I can just create a name. All right, I can join the class. And here I am. I can listen to podcasts that what's been created, and I can look. I will have to maybe read this, know what's happening, and all the stuff that I'm going to be doing is going to be seen by my teacher. So it's likely it's going to be the same questions. Oh, maybe not. Can you see what the Ville Rose refers to in Toulouse? Okay, so it's about the bricks. Okay. Can you explain the bricks are secondary to the city and how they contribute to the nickname? Okay, La Ville Rose, obviously the bricks are pink, etc., etc. So I can fill in. And if I go back onto the other side, I will be able to actually see what my pupils are being up to. You can see that JNO is in progress. Okay, and if I can view what my pupil has been doing, so he's written bricks like this, which is pretty amazing, isn't it? So it's a very, very good way to start working and enhance your teaching by using this little pod. Now, if I wanted to be using the script itself, so obviously you can do that inside and you can have access to what the pupils are doing with using that bot, okay? However, I thought that we could be downloading the podcast, so you're totally able to be downloading the podcast. So it's going to be doing this here. What we're going to be doing after that is we are going to try to get a script of it. So we cannot copy and paste it. It's being created. But because we're going to be reusing after that in Brisk, I'll show you. So I've got my file. I'm going to go onto TurboScribe, which is an amazing app where you can get your script. So I click on this. Within seconds, it's going to be creating the script of my podcast. Okay, so TurboScribe has finished the job very, very quickly, very well. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to download the PDF. So now I've got a PDF, I've got my script. So I'm going to go back into my document from the beginning. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to be creating, I'm going to go upload my PDF. Okay, découverte la ville de Toulouse. And what do I want to do now? Well, as you know, we can create some amazing quizzes. So I'm going to be creating create quiz and create a quiz about this file. So I'm going to be keeping, let's say I want to have 10 questions actually, all right, isn't it? I could be a bit more precise. I want my quiz to be in, let's say in English. We can do it in French, obviously, depending what year group you have. Multiple choice, short responses, long responses. Let's do a multiple choice and see where it's going to lead us. So I want to create a form so it's easier to mark. And it's going to be brisking it. There we go. And it's an amazing job. We have our podcast that we'll be creating. You could be using, obviously, the boost it and test and see what the pupils have done. But you could also, if you wanted to, create a quiz based on the PDF you downloaded if you want to remain, and use Brisk again afterwards to be creating that. You could boost it again and try to create some extra things about it. But I think we've done a great job already, and I'm quite happy with what we achieved so far. So just to show you quickly that all your podcasts that you created are kept in Brisk, okay, and all the activities you also have created are also kept there. You can see these little progress activities have been creating. This one I did on the Madeleine and stuff. So you have your podcast, they're all saved in one place, so you can open them and you can have a look at them again if you wanted to. Okay, what we're going to do in a sec now, I'm going to just share some ideas on how to be using the podcast, what type of podcast you could be creating, just for further fun. I'm just going to show you a couple of examples of, or a few examples, not just a couple, of type of podcast options you can use in world language. So audio travel guide, like we've just done with the Toulouse one, where you can share maybe a couple of people talking about a town, a city, a country and stuff like that. Could be quite a fun thing to do. All these ideas, by the way, I've created some podcasts for these. I will be sharing in the description, so you'll be able to have access to them if you wanted to have a listen. Interview of an iconic painting. I thought that was really fun. I created one podcast on a podcaster interviewing the Mona Lisa, talking about her experience being in a museum, which is quite a fun thing to do. Next one, talking about iconic dishes, and I did a podcast on the Madeleines. Why not? Could be doing different types of food if you wanted to. I love food. I love talking about food, and I think it's really part of culture. Then grammar detective. I think that's a really, really good one. And obviously, it's really hard to be teaching grammar. And I think sometimes creating a podcast is a good idea to be having people trained to explain grammatical points and stuff like that, maybe to help you out understanding things better. And Brisk can do that and can do that very well. I've done that on and played with it. Someone's explaining how they use the imperfect tense in French. It's in English. I think it's better if it's in English for understanding, and it's actually really, really good. Next one, pen pal series. I think that's really, really good for culture too. I can have some people talking from different francophone countries, and I have someone from Quebec talking to someone from Senegal, and they're exchanging ideas or talking about their country and stuff like that, and saying what they're doing and what's the weather like and what they're eating and what slang they're using and stuff like that. So it's really, really good idea to have people talking about their own countries. Funny breaking news. I think that's quite a fun one to do. Also, people can just use the imagination. And I created a story about a baguette who's taking over Paris. So why not? Two people talking about like some newscasters or anchors, whatever you call them, talking about the baguette taking over Paris. Why not? Time capsule. So we're talking about a couple of people also talking about what they are like and going to be leaving a message, an audio message about what they're living now and for the future people. if you just have this nice idea. Also, you can practice all sorts of tenses. And finally, podcast from the future. That's the opposite. I'm going to have the people from the future who are going to be sending or recording something and talking about their life in the future, which I think is quite a nice idea too. And so again, it can use different tenses, different vocab and stuff like that. Lots of fun you can have. I'm sure you have many more ideas. You're going to be talking to a historical character and all sorts. The world's the oyster, so it's just a few ideas that are being thrown around, and you're welcome to use them. And you're also very welcome to share your ideas about new stuff that you're going to be creating. I'm looking forward to listening to this.